So thank you for joining us today. Our ambition is really to update you on where we are with our European Standard Clinical Practice Guidance documents and the associated registry. So this is me as EAN PETCAN coordinator with my team, Adriana and Martin, who are with me today. Next one. So the recall, I think you certainly will remember that we really were aiming for European harmonized frontline standards of care for all childhood cancers. And we realized in the past that quite often when a frontline clinical trial was not open, a guidance was missing. So this was hence necessary, not only for countries that have limited resources and may not be in the position to open up a rather complex, work-intensive frontline clinical trial, but we update these guidelines also for all countries in Europe as evidence evolves. And this is the recommendation for all and everyone across Europe. So really harmonized and aiming for equity in terms of recommendation. With these ESCPs, we also foster collaboration and twinning because the capacity building diagnostics is of importance, the harmonized treatments alongside with the psychosocial care. What the ESCP stand for, and this is very important because this is a well-researched and harmonized response of the respective European clinical trial group. So the most harmonized opinion on the standard of care you can have in Europe. And in the back, we have built a registry that enables the monitoring of the guideline implementations and outcomes across Europe. Next slide. So where we are. So you have seen the slides before because it shows very nicely how it evolves over time. So we have now an exciting increase to a total of 35 ESCPs that are launched. So we have 10 in the area of 27 to 22, another 14 from 22 to 23, and in the currently ongoing grant, 5 were up and running, and 6 are new as of the 2nd of June. And we added here adrenal and extraadrenal paraganglioma, carcinomas and carcinoid tumors of the bronchi and lungs, choroid plexus tumors, neuroendocrine tumors of the appendix, non-epidemiological gastroenteropancreatic neuroendocrine neoplasms, and very importantly, a guidance on palliative care. So further updates are ongoing currently and or under development, and it's even more because also the neuroblastoma group will update already in the next 6 months the current recommendations and will create separately recommendation for relapse treatments. Next one. So this is exciting news here as well, because we do have the ESCPs directly accessible on the EAN PETCAN website. You can download them anytime. So I think this was a shift to transfer them to the revamped website of EAN PETCAN, but we still kept the bridges to the SIOP Europe website. What is really interesting is that we are also pushing for publications because in this way they're even more findable in the scientific community. And 10 publications out of the 14 happened in the ongoing grant period. And we foster here the publication fees, and you see we all have pushed them into the European Journal of Cancer with the pediatric oncology branch. Next slide. One may say, is it worth it? Because the European Journal of Cancer was rather newly created as the Scientific European Journal of SciOp Europe. So that's why it did not have an impact factor, which is completely normal in the scaling up phase. And very proudly, we now may announce and say that we are here now with an impact factor of 2, and we trust that this will rapidly increase over time because the quality is very high. And what is really quite fascinating to be kept in mind, we were informed by the editor of the journal that the ESCP related publications are the most cited and downloaded publications in the European Journal of Cancer Pediatric Oncology. So this is really exciting news. So this common work really has gained a lot of recognition and will continue to do so. Next one. So with the registry, I hand over to Martin, that he guides us through this scope. Martin, floor is yours.
Thank you, Ruth, and good afternoon also from my side. So as a companion to the ESCP documents, we have also developed a registry, which I'm sure you're aware of already. And the goal of this registry is to capture incidents of childhood cancer patients across Europe which are not entered or where you do not have the possibility to enter them into clinical trials. The data that this registry is supposed to capture concerns outcomes of childhood cancer by type-specific risk factors, the implementation, most importantly, the implementation feasibility of the ESCP documents, and any reasons for deviations from those documents. The idea behind it is to have a slim registry with core variables harmonized with the JRC, so Joint Research Center of the European Commission. And this core module aligns with those 16 data comments that are contained in there. And then we have a limited cancer type specific modules per basically for each ESCP document, with the target of having 50 to maximum 100 variables per module. We also have implemented, oh, sorry, Adrita, showing the browser now. Yeah, thanks. We also have implemented the UPID service in the registry, which allows the dataset to be exploitable on an institutional level, also for national cancer registries, because the link can be established with the help of the UPID services. Next. Yeah, as already mentioned, the idea is to have a slim ESCP registry backbone of these 16 core variables of the JRC, and then the specific modules with the entity-specific risk factors developed by the European clinical trial groups, the SciOp ECTGs. And you can see this here depicted the idea behind the registry, with the core dataset in the middle and the specific modules built around it. Next. Next slide, please. Thank you. You can see here listed. I will not go through all of them because it's a lot to read, but you will receive the slides afterwards anyway. We already have 16 modules available, which are fully developed and implemented in the registry as we have it right now. And on the right-hand side, you see the list of modules which are being developed in addition, so that we at the end cover all the thematic disease specific areas of the European clinical trial groups. Next. So what are the resources that we can at the moment provide to you for you to be able to implement or to go through the implementation of the registry? We have the study protocol that we of course had to develop for our ethics submission here in Austria, which summarizes what is already available. It's a 42-page document. It also outlines as a study protocol should the aims of the registry and the ESCPs, And it's to be amended when the new modules are become available and are being implemented, and the registry is being updated with new ESCP modules. And we have that available in English language. Then informed consent, we have 4 age-adopted consents for 4 different age brackets in German and English language. So for you, maybe more useful would be to use the English language and translate it if needed to your local languages, which also addresses key concerns regarding data protection issues. Then we finally have both the data sharing and data transfer agreement templates available. That both of those went through an extensive legal check here in our local legal department. And after this webinar, you will receive all those documents and templates together with the slides in our information package. And when we have a number of centers which say they are ready to start using the registry, the developer, Data River, so the IT developer of the registry, also will have will hold an activation training for all the users who should then actively enroll patients in the registry. As I said, this is supposed to happen when you are ready to actively start using the registry, so after the ethics committee approval. Next. So more about those the DSA and DTA templates. Why do we have those, or why do we provide those? We have learned over the last couple of months that some HCPs, some of our ERN members, require templates for both of those documents to support their ethics submissions. And even if they do not actively need to use the documents, the ethics commissions require them to be present. So that's why we provide those to you. The ones that we have are based on templates that have been developed in the ERICA project. So those templates have been developed specifically for ERN registries, and we customized both of those to our needs for the ESCP registry. And as I said, both of those are now also legally checked by our legal department here, are available for you and will be sent after the webinar. And if you need to, you can take those and also adapt them to your local or to the local needs of your ethics commission, to the requirements. Next. So how would we like to move towards now? Actively move towards the implementation. As we said, the registry is operational. It's from a technical point of view fully implemented, up and running. We have those 16 modules that I showed you before available, and we've obtained the ethics approval here in Austria. So this is what we can provide to you, the platform itself, those modules that are there, the study protocol, the consent form templates, both the data sharing and data transfer agreement templates, and general implementation support. And what we then would ask you to do, or would implore you to participate in, is to review those documents if they align with the local requirements of your commissions. And if you have not already done so, nominate a registry contact. So somebody, a person in your center who we can approach, or who can approach us with any questions regarding the registry. Then, of course, the ethics submission, which you would need to do, and you know better how to do according to your local needs and requirements. You can do a little review, of course, of all the documents that we provide to you. The registry activation then comes together with the training by Data River. Then you would be prepared for the patient enrollment. And then our shared goal for all our whole ERN is to enable the implementation of this ESCP registry across all our members as soon as feasible. And I think that was the last of my slides for now. Yeah. And maybe Ruth, you would like to take over for the Q&A, because we have a couple of questions for you, for our participants.
Okay, so we will do that. So maybe a little bit of motivation before we go into Q&A. You might be aware that registries are high at stake, also on the Commission's level. They are highly appreciated, and they will play a major role also in future drug developments. So this data is extremely valuable and complementary to any frontline clinical trials. So it's really worth it to buy in. And for these reasons, we really would like to encourage you and be quite pushy to bring this towards implementation, because I think the concept that we have worked out for pediatric oncology is really beautiful, with the common core data sets and this enriched but still slim and modest information in the modules that are adopted to the respective indication and ongoing risk factors. And this is by being slim on the other hand and much more informative than any other cancer registry or childhood cancer registry on governmental level. It's outstanding and has a lot of future. So this is definitely worth it to be undertaken, and concept-wise also received a lot of appreciation. So having said all this, I invite you to go through the various questions that we want to raise. So, and we want to take a poll so that we have your answers to the burning questions that we do have, because we really would like to get the information from you today to present what is the current status of the ESCP registry implementation at your center at the time being, and if you are responsible for coordinating this on a national level, how the sites are doing in case you have such a role in terms of advancing the implementation. So please do your choices. Adriana, would you like to explain something?
Yes, just very briefly. So if you are joining the meeting via the MS Teams app, then you should be seeing a white rectangle now with the question. And so here it's just one option question. If you are joining via the browser, please go to the chat of the webinar, and there you will see the question also. And there you can provide your answer, please.
So we give you time to see your answers coming in. You're seeing the votes coming in, Adriana, right?
Yes, so I'm currently seeing 67% for not started. And I think, and then we have 33% with ethics approved. And then the rest is 0%. I'm sorry, I cannot share my results.
That's not, if you survey us, because we are not that many people in the call. So has anybody difficulties in filling out this questionnaire, or are you on it? Please speak up in case you encounter difficulties.
No difficulties here.
Okay.
Okay. So out of these 3 responses, 2 of them have not started, and 1 of them has ethics approved.
So Maya, are you fine to address the questions?
Yeah, we have obtained this ethics approval.
Wonderful.
And we were just waiting for these agreements to be shared with us. So Martin just told us that everything will be sent to us after this webinar. So I think we're just looking forward to move on.
Excellent. Faberova, are you on the answering the questions, or do you have any problems with the poll number 1? There's obviously a problem with the connection for Faberova. Lucy?
Yes, she's writing in the chat that her microphone and webcam are not working. She sends her apologies.
Okay. Who else is working on the answers? Anda, you have submitted yours.
Yeah, we are missing 2 of them. I don't know if anyone is facing any difficulties. But if not, I will leave the poll open and then I can open the next question if you agree with that, Ruth. So we can progress or.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll show the next question and once again, it will pop out on your screen.
So this was really the question, what is currently the problems that you encounter at your site as a main barrier to implementation. And here again, you have 6 choices. So I let you give you time to tick the boxes.
And here you can select more than one. So if there is a combination of them, then please feel free to select more than one option. Sorry, there was another poll showing up. That was a mistake. So I can start look at the results. So we have 50% of the 2 responses now, and one of them is stating lack of time and resources, and the other one is the DSA and DTA documentation. So hopefully after today, when the DSA and the DTA are shared, then this is also something that will remove one of these constraints for sure.
Mm-hmm. So I have an add-on question. If you have lack of time and resources, do you have a national requirement to report to a national cancer registry?
Yes, hi. So we do report cases to the National Registry.
Okay, and this is like our core data set, or is it?
This is it's a population-based cancer registry, which means that only basic data like diagnosis, first line of treatment. So it's not clinical database. So it's very limited.
Can I ask from which country you're from? Because I don't recognize this by name. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Estonia. I'm filling in for a colleague, Katri Saks. She is currently on vacation. So.
Okay. So possibly because what we see is a major advantage here for the future, just to make a little bit the point. You might be aware that there have been big projects like the Regista projects and more, where the governmental registries aim to enrich the data because it's much more informative if you have staged or respect really to understand what is the outcome data and to understand the scenario. So the plea really goes because it would be a worthwhile investment for your own country's documentation on where you go and a better understanding of the cases. Okay, shall we close this poll because we
Yes.
possibly will circulate it out to everyone?
Yes, Ruth, just one comment in the chat from Lucia Rusman. She's saying that also in Croatia, they have this obligation to report to the National Cancer Registry. Just following here on the chat.
Okay, so we will follow up on these things, and this will then overcome the today's connection problems.
Yes. Okay, and I think there we have just one last question, and this is more an open
Poll
one.
number 3. Yeah.
Yes. This is more an open, you can write a sentence or just a word on what would help your center to obtain ethics approval this year. Really, it's just for us to have a better idea without giving you a set of answers where we can probably think how can we support you. So again, if you don't see the white screen on your Teams app, please go to the chat and there you will be able to see the question and the option to reply. And currently we have 0 responses, so I suppose people is taking some time to type, which is fine. For the people that it's just joining now, we have 3 polls open on the status of the ESCP registry. So if you go to the chat, I hope you can see it in the chat history of the meeting.
So I think maybe, Martin, you want to comment briefly on this in terms of the question regarding detailed protocol.
Sorry, Ruth, I didn't understand fully.
I think here somebody asked what would help them obtain ethics approval. So a detailed protocol on where we are and what the ESCPs are about is provided.
Yes.
So
We, as I
that has
exactly
been circulated, so this is already in existence. We have provided our ethics approval as a guiding ethical approval, also to help you. Mind and lot, I cannot interpret it personally, what type of actions we would see, because here we really asked you, how can we help you to obtain the ethical approval? But anyway, what we try to do here is really getting questions where you're stuck, where we can possibly help. And I think Martin is the one to address directly, should you have like a hurdle in the one or in the other step. I think with this we can close. We will circulate this out to the whole community. I think we have not a very high attendance today, but most of Europe is in heat shock. So the activities are running slightly low on multiple levels. And it will get better. The next fall comes for sure. But really let us help you as much as we can to get this up and running, because you know, there are major initiatives in Europe about inequalities. And if we talk about resources and improvement of resources, these inputs are absolutely crucial, because when only the others talk about you, then it's not as effective. But if we can clearly show with numbers, this is where you can start to mobilize resources and also make it better for the future. Okay, do you have any concise questions to us today? If this is not the case, then thank you very much for attending. And please come back in written, and we will help you step by step wherever your needs are. And don't be puzzled. We will write out to all the countries to have a recall on the process. So you might get this information in double, although you have been in the webinar today. And mainly it's an offer to support you. Okay, then thank you very much for today. If there are no more questions, I wish you a good afternoon and hopefully a not too hot evening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.